reason for this, my reason is for one that you may share, possibly. I have a very low tolerance level for stupid bullshit.
Now, y'all thought y'all could get that past us. Welcome to the Dissect the BS podcast. I'm Uzo.
And I am RJ.
And today we are going to get into some pop culture, some hot topics, and then we are going to pick each other's brains. So getting into our pop culture segment, who cares? I wanted to start off with, I don't know if you saw this, but 21 Savage was on my favorite app, Clubhouse.
Oh, yes.
Stating that Nas is irrelevant. I have the article right here, and then I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
So apparently, Nas and Hit Boy just released their new King's Disease 3 album, but to hear 21 Savage tell it, it is just a formality. During a heated Clubhouse debate about the rapper's longevity, 21 questioned Nas's relevancy as a whole, in addition to why fans still dissected hip-hop music like it was anatomy class. So my thoughts is that right now we live in a Gen Z millennial hip hop era.
Right.
These little motherfuckers don't care, right?
Yeah.
They will rap about, getting the trap, the crap, the that, right, period. And it slaps. So the way I took it, because Nas is one of those, kind of like Hove, he's an oldie. He's an oldie but goodie. He'll be forever immortalized in the culture.
Right.
Like, he is a big hip hop staple. However, are 13-year-olds listening to that new Nas track? No. Who is streaming on Apple Music? The kids. So when it comes to like relevancy, like, he will forever be relevant. Absolutely. But like, he's not popular. And I think that those conversations, like, I think that that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll forever talk about Whitney Houston, but like, she's not popular. Like, the girls love Summer. Yeah. So those are my thoughts. I agree with it. I think that people, like, whenever you hear a statement like that, though, people are automatically going to be like, what do you mean? Yeah. Nas is what? It's like, yeah, we know. But it's like, so we're just not going to have like a real life conversation?
Yeah. I mean, I think to your point, like, I definitely agree with what you're saying to an extent, though, because he later doubled back on the statement. And tried to clarify. So my only problem is, like, the conversation only gets but so real.
Yeah.
And there's not, I think, the extent to really understanding, like, Nas. I think about, our age group, which is, under 30. So that's fun.
Just pushing. Not too much. I think, isn't yours coming up soon? In like a couple months? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'll still be under 30 by the time this video is posted.
Period.
So, yeah, to that point, I think it's really, going back to what you said about Nas always having that relevance, to the community, which I think is what he said in his point, like, to the hip hop community and to his audience, which is broad, because if you think about how music is passed down and what's listened to, like, I've listened to things that I've heard in my household from my parents. So he does have a point, but at the same time, music today is trash. So when I think about it, like, it's good for a cute bop, but it's like, am I really blasting these records post like a year? No.
But you see, that's where I think that people like you are doing too much, because I think that is true, but it's like, at the end of the day, this is popping now, and that equals relevancy. So yes, like, thinking about the music's longevity, nobody care about that. That's not what we're talking about. That's a whole nother conversation.
But it's relevant to
it's
who?
True.
To who?
To the popular culture. It's literally just popular culture. That's it, and that's all.
Okay,
That's it, and that's all.
From that perspective, that would be the only perspective that we would have.
And that's all we're talking about, though. That's the thing.
It's
he's not talking about anything other than that. Like, that's literally that. It's just that.
I personally think, though, like,
and popular culture is determined by the streams and the charts only.
Absolutely. But I think it goes to the point of, like, right message, wrong messenger, to the sense of, like, if you say Nas and 21 Savage and you think about rap music, it's just like, I understand what he's saying just to that point only.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it should be a bigger conversation.
But that's not the conversation.
Well, then it's just an opinion. But because it's like, that's only one part of the conversation, though.
But that is the only conversation.
That is his
There's
point.
No more. There's when we're talking about the relevancy today.
I would have to.
Yes, because you're talking
only
about
one part of the conversation, though.
But that's okay. So the conversation that 21 is having is about relevancy of artists right now.
It's about his point on that aspect. Yes, but I'm saying that point is one part of the conversation. I totally get what he is saying, but it is a bigger conversation that would need to be had.
I think it's another conversation. Okay. I don't think it's like, and because it's like, at the end of the day, like, music is trash now. So it's like, nobody is arguing with that. Nobody is saying that these people they'll go down in the books as, like, they're spitting on your favorite rappers. Nobody is saying that. They're terrible. They're not good. They're not good. But it's like, when it comes to relevancy, I noticed that, like, I just think that people get offended because it's like, we grow up on certain things and we know how good that music can really be. But, they're kind of destroying it. And, it is what it is, what the kids like or whatever. But like, the relevancy is determined by who is listening to you, period.
Yeah. I just think that conversation about relevance and, like, recognition and popularity, it's just such a convoluted conversation when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know that's one point and one conversation from one person, being 21, that was being had. But like, when you bring something like that up, it's just so multi-layered, because then I think about popularity and things like streams, the Grammys, recognition, things like that. It is all so, like, just mishmash, where it's just like, what is actually happening?
But yes, I guess we shall agree to. I think we agree at the end of the day.
Yeah,
but it's like, I'm just saying that, just leave it be. You like your faves, We're looking at the numbers, and you're saying that it's deeper, and, like, it should be other factors. Nene Leakes' boo, the one that she was with last year, is filing for divorce from his wife, finally. So, fun fact, I guess they live in North Carolina, and North Carolina is one of the only states that a wife can sue a mistress, for, I guess, undue hardship on the marriage, if the mistress was aware that the spouse was, engaged or, like, married to someone else or what have you. So North Carolina, I think there's only 3 states. North Carolina is one of those states that you can do that. You can go after mistresses. Okay. So y'all better watch your back.
So Charlotte, watch out now.
Exactly. Watch your back. Like, if you know a man is married, leave that man alone, which you should be doing anyway, but whatever. So I think that it is interesting. I'm not sure what happened with that lawsuit. I never heard anything about it. I doubt that Nene settled. I remember she was posting, like, okay, yeah, no, girl. Like, she wasn't even like, she was like, no. And I guess I'm happy for her. If she's still with this young man. She tried to cause a little uproar recently. She was, like, on an interview, throwing a little shade at Cynthia Bailey, trying to say Cynthia was ugly or something. Well, no, she did not say that. So I take that back. But it was a little shady because she was talking to somebody and someone was like, oh, you want to know who's super beautiful in person, like Cynthia. And she was like, oh, is she? Like she was just being shady. And then she was like,
Oh,
oh, like, have you seen her in person?
you
Oh,
severed the
okay.
ties with Andy and the Real Housewives. Just
Yes.
move on, Miss Nene.
Um,
I can't with Nene.
yeah.
I can't with Nene because like I think about Lenithia and her nonsense when she first came on the series because I actually used to watch it then. To where she is now and like you caused that, girl. Like you
Hmm.
caused all of that. I mean, one thing I do want to say is I know she's going through a lot of personal things, which
Yeah.
I do think will definitely impact anyone. We're all human at the end of the day. So for that, I extend like my utmost empathy. But when it comes to her persona on reality television, I'm like, Hot Mess Express. I think everything is just for that moment, for the spotlight to be back on her. It's
Hmm.
everyone's fault. And Nene is just impeccable. So I mean, I'm glad that now she's not sleeping with the married man, as she said to one of the girls.
Close your
Close your
legs to
legs to
married
married
men.
men. Classic Nene line.
You see
But
how the world comes
I
back?
know it's crazy. It's honestly crazy, but it's kind of, I mean, it's funny, kind of, sort of.
Hmm.
It's just a hot mess, and I love it, but I don't love it. But I wish her all that.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Nene, basically, she's reaping what she sowed as it pertains to
Yes.
Bravo. She
Mhm.
made excellent television, and she really could have went super far. Nene could have done some stuff, but Nene just
Yeah.
got real. She got too big for her britches. Remember, like when she was getting the Trump checks, and
Oh
then
my God,
she
I
was like an
know.
actress, and then like she had to
Yeah.
come back because her shows got canceled,
Yeah. She
and
was a
like
comedian briefly.
yeah, and she was just super cocky to where it was like I have no issue with the cockiness because I feel like that's what makes a good housewife. Like sure, like be ridiculous,
Yeah.
but like it seemed like she behind closed doors like she really didn't understand like the show is what brought me here.
Yeah,
So
she
I have
lost.
to yeah, she
Mhm.
really thought that like that she was like above the fray and it's like honey, anyone can get dropped.
Yeah.
Like
Look at
any
Kim
one of the
Zolciak.
girls. Kim wasn't that quintessential. Or are you talking about her foreclosure?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that kind of is what it is. Moving right along into some more serious news. Um, I don't know if you noticed or you saw yesterday, but Donald Trump has announced.
Oh,
Okay, moving right along. moving, bypassing that.
no.
You
You have
know,
any hope in the world,
Can I give an
it behooves you.
unpopular opinion? Super unpopular. I miss DT. He was hilarious. I don't think things are better or worse with him, and I would enjoy the entertainment.
I
Like
mean,
respectfully, he was
I,
so funny.
he
Like
was I think he was funny, but it was sad because
he was
his
ridiculous,
his perspective just caused too much chaos because people
right?
can't be as objective as his humor. I will say that
Yes,
much.
he
That's how I could put Donald Trump in a
used to
nice
giggle.
couple of words.
I used to giggle. Okay. And
Wow.
I genuinely don't think anything got better or worse. Like when he
No,
came
it
into
definitely didn't
office,
get
it was
better.
the same. It was the
It definitely did
same with
not get better.
Obama, Trump, and now Biden. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Zimbabwe's and Bobs.
I know. This is Zimbabwe. Hey.
Hey, Zimbabs. And then last but certainly not least, on a more serious note, I don't know if you saw what occurred with Shanquella Robinson. Have you seen that
Oh,
story?
I heard about it, but I haven't like really looked into it. Educate me. Tell me.
Yeah, of course. So Shanquella Robinson was a 25-year-old person. She resided in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she was a very successful like hairstylist. Like I went on her Instagram and like
Mhm,
she had like 25,000 followers. She had people like booking her for like kitty braids and like,
mhm,
sew-ins and things like that. And she was a very beautiful young lady.
mhm,
So at the end of October, her and maybe like five friends went on a trip to Mexico,
mhm.
right? So there is a video that resurfaced of her getting into a fight. Shanquilla was butt ass naked, right? Naked. And she was fighting this girl who was dragging her along, punching her in the neck, punching her in the head. Shanquella, at one point, she did not fight back the entire time. Like, it's my assumption that she was too intoxicated to do anything. And like, there was a man, there were boys on the strip, so maybe it was like 3 boys, 3 girls, I don't know. But it was a man that was actually recording it, and they were like, you know, fight back, fight back. And she was like, no, I'm not fighting. And like, that girl like drug her around, beat her butt. So Shanquella died in Mexico, right? And they had, because like, okay, so she died literally one day after they got there. So she had just got there or whatever. She talked to her mom and she told her mom, like, oh, like, you know, the chef is here. We're going to make some food, whatever happened. The fight happened. She ended up passing away. So her friends called her mom and they're like, yeah, like, you know, Shanquella, you know, she died because of alcohol poisoning, right? So the friends go home from the trip. They leave her body there, which I'm kind of like, I don't really know how they were going to get the body back. Like, if I'm just thinking realistically, but it just sounds bad. Like, they left her in Mexico, and then like the mom or the parents had to spend up to $6,000, and they got her body back probably at the top, or like maybe like last week or so, right? And so they did an independent autopsy. And that's when we found out, like, oh, like her neck was broken. She had spinal injuries. And then, of course, that video resurfaced of her getting beat up and that girl punching her in the, like, she was obliterated. Like, they beat her up and she was not fighting back, to where I was like, how many people were in that room watching that?
Yeah.
Right. And so now it's a whole thing. Like, they're all the kids are lying about what happened. Nobody's coming forward. There was one young man that came forward on Snapchat because he was supposed to be on the trip, but he ended up coming a day later. So he came because they had already been there for a day. He came later and he said by the time he got there, whatever happened to Shanquella had already happened to her. And you know, he was just, you know, by her side. Like, they had told him the same thing, that she, you know, was poisoned by alcohol and all of that good stuff. And yeah, so that is what happened. The little kids are lying and they need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Like, for real, for real.
That gave me chills just like hearing. I saw some posts on Instagram about her, but I didn't look into the story.
Yeah.
And I was on YouTube and I happened to see a video talking about it, but I didn't watch it. So I did hear, you know, that she had passed, but I didn't know the situation. So just hearing it, like, that's terrible. And it also makes you think about the people that you spend your time with, like,
exactly,
that you call your, you know, so-called friends, and you just really never know people and how people are watching you for the wrong reasons and contributing to your time for the wrong intentions, just so, you know, maybe screw you over in the end. And that's just, it's scary to think about because, you know, it doesn't sound far-fetched from any of our realities. So yeah, it's kind of scary.
It reminded me because, of course, there's a lot of conversations revolving around jealousy. And like, if you watch the video, like, that girl had hate in her heart. Like, she would have killed that girl. Like, I mean, she did. I'm 90% sure she was the cause of death. But or she definitely was the cause of death. At the end of the day, like, whatever happened, the way that she was punching her, like, how did she break her neck? Like, what happened? But anywho, like, you could tell, like, she hated her or whatever. And so it was a lot of talks around like jealousy, like in female friendships. I'm sure they occur in like any friendship. But it's like, like, girls really will act out for men. And I've had my experience with this as it pertains to like girl strips. And I can only imagine, like, if I'm dealing with someone like of a violent nature, someone who's a little bit more like out there. But like, like, people will do anything for a little bit of attention. So I wouldn't even be surprised, like, if it was a jealousy thing. Like, I would believe it. I mean, granted, it could have been 2 girls that like had beef before, because I don't know how true this is, but I heard that her mom, that she was talking to her mom about this other girl and was like, yeah, she's coming. Like, I don't know. So maybe it was some like pre-existing beef. Maybe something happened on site. that just like escalated. But I
That's
wouldn't be
crazy.
surprised like if it was just like built up animosity to where it's like, girl, if you got a question, like, I don't know about this one girl, if you don't stay your tail at home, like you shouldn't already have in your mind that things are going to be weird because you don't know how someone's going to act. Like you pay so much money to go out on these trips to where
That's
like,
true. That's true. But it's like that whole like, how are people looking at their friends? Like, you know, how are people
yeah,
really assessing like, okay, I'm gonna go out with X number of people and I only know this person like this. I really rock with this person. Oh,
yeah,
okay, this is an associate. Like, should you be traveling like that? Those are things that you really have to ask yourself when not
yeah,
only you're spending the money that you're spending, but you're going abroad with these people. Like
yeah,
that, you're far away from home. Like, who do people know your movements? Do people know what's going on? Like,
exactly.
that is not okay because it just sounds like it's so possible.
Yeah,
Like just hearing it, it's crazy. Like it's
yeah,
honestly crazy. You have to be careful with who you spend your time with and traveling in groups,
yeah.
honestly.
That wraps up this segment of Who Cares? Next, we're going to get into the brain pick, but first, a word from our sponsors. Don't forget to shop www.essentiallyuzo.com. That is my affirmation-based business filled with affirmation floor mats for your young little black and brown girls. Coming soon will be different types of hair accessories and any type of item that you can see in your bathroom, riddled with affirmations and beautiful words for your young girls. Again, that is www.essentiallyuzo.com.
Awesome. So I want to pick your brain on a topic that's been of interest to me as late, and that is polygamy and sister wives. What are your thoughts on polygamy and sister wives?
Polygamy. Okay, so first of all, I feel like a lot of us don't know like the definition of polygamy per se. And when I say us, I mean young black men that try to make people be polygamous. You know, the straights though, the straights.
Ma'am.
The straights. Because they're always like, I want to be polygamous. And I'm like, do you understand that that's literally you sharing the responsibility of having two families? So, like, just like how you would take care for one wife, you're taking care for two, three, four, five. You're paying for their bills. You're taking care of the children. You got to be there. You all are one happy family. And when you explain it to them, they're like, oh, well. And it's like, yeah, what you want is an open relationship, or you just want to be nasty. So I will say that a lot of people don't know what's going on. But I think as it pertains to true polygamy, although it's not legal in the United States, I don't think it is. But I don't see a problem with it. I think that honestly, I don't think I could participate in it unless you were very, very rich. Like
That
you
was
had to
going to
be
be the
like,
next question.
oh, okay, yeah, you would have to be uber rich. Like if you had money, then you absolutely, or whatever, I would share. I would share. There's like a song that
Oh, is it urban?
it's like I need to look it up, but like there's two. There's one called Shantae's Got a Man at Home. And then there's one that's so you're familiar with Shantae and her man? Okay. So those are the songs that people on Clubhouse be
But
playing to be
wait, what's the
shady.
other one?
The other one is like an old school song, and it literally says in the song that having a piece of a man is better than not having one at all. It says
Oh,
that in the song. And
is
I'm
it
gonna
He's
look that up.
Mine by Mock and Stuff?
I have no idea what the name is, but I do
Okay,
know
'cause
like the
that's a
key
trash
is
song too. It basically says like you had him for the no, you had him for the time, I got him for the night or some shit. Like he's mine, you may have had him once, but I got him all the time. Girl, it's
look,
ratchet. The girls
look, and like, that's what the mammies love. So like I'll take a piece of a man if you're a
Okay,
billionaire. I don't care. So
that's fair.
respectfully. So I don't mind polygamy as long as like everyone is happy in the situation, no one's being abused, the resources and the access are split equally. Um, yeah, I actually wouldn't mind. Like, I would be your wife for like, if you wanted to vent and then you can have sex with someone else,
Okay.
like I would be okay with that actually. No
Yeah.
issues.
Okay, so is it brain pick approved?
Yes, brain pick approved.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. I love it. Okay, so my thoughts on polygamy are as follows. I think it's pretty interesting. I will say I feel like more people are leaning towards an open relationship versus polygamy, to your point. It's not something that I think I could personally do. Like, I mean, I also am a man and I would probably marry like another man. I could do it for other reasons though, but not necessarily that. Like, I
Mhm.
just wouldn't really see the point. Um, but like for some other things, yeah.
What
So
are the
I don't
other
really,
reasons?
well, I don't know if I could say them on YouTube, but it
Oh,
would be
okay.
like, it would be like,
X-rated.
let me know if I need to live this life for 5 years for everything to be okay for you. Um, moving right
What?
along to my next topic, which is actually threesomes.
Okay.
What are
Okay,
your thoughts?
so I don't think I would participate in a threesome.
Yeah,
I don't think that there's anything wrong with them, but I just am a very like vanilla girl as it
okay,
pertains to
that's
sex.
fair.
Not
Hmm.
interested in women, so I wouldn't want to have a threesome with another woman. I'm not gonna lick pussy or,
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
I'm not gonna participate in
You
that.
couldn't do that as a fellow sister wife.
I feel like if the price was right, maybe, but
Okay,
like a
okay.
lot of keep it 100. A lot of these men don't got the price. So if it's
Mm,
just for sport or fun, no,
mhm.
I'm
Okay.
not interested. So I would not be participating. And
Mhm.
then if it was another man, that's just too much penis. Like I don't want to participate in that either.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I feel like threesomes, I don't see anything fundamentally wrong. It's just
Okay.
that I won't be partaking in any of that activity.
Yeah. How do you feel about this? Because it's very complex, adding someone in the bedroom.
Like, but what would they be doing?
They
Like,
could be watching, they could be the person doing. Your partner could be like watching them do you. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think I might do that because that's kind of like it could be a little sexy,
Yeah, it sounds
like a
fun.
live porno. So
Yeah.
it would depend. I think at the end of the day, though, the price would have to be right. So I would have to
Oh,
be
for
with
that
someone.
too?
Yeah, you would have to be very
Got it.
rich because I feel like I'm a monogamy girl.
Okay.
So, but the price, like, there's a price for everything. So I would be okay if the price was right, everything was good, and if you really like needed that,
Yeah.
then yeah,
Got
what's
it.
that voyeurism? Yeah, like
I
you can
think that's
watch
like
me.
cuckold and like
Yeah,
it is an essence of voyeurism as
yeah,
well.
I'll
I
watch.
actually, I
Yeah,
agree.
I would
I agree
watch
with
and get
those
turned
thoughts.
on and be like, oh yeah, that's hot or whatever. You just like as I'm like reading
Yeah.
a book or something, like, oh yeah,
I think the
that's hot.
problem though with threesomes is like it does require a lot of energy and
Mm,
you do have to be aware of like multiple perspectives. Like
yeah.
sex is kind of like a conversation. So like once you add someone else in the mix, it's very confusing, no matter where it's going or what you're doing. And
Yes.
like it requires too much energy. Like it's nice to feel like a whore for 5 minutes, but then like as it goes on, it's just like this is complex.
Yeah.
This is too much energy. Like, where is this like going? Which way am I? Am I giving you enough energy back there? Are you getting
Hmm.
enough energy up here?
Yeah.
I just personally think like it's good like every centennial. Like,
Hmm. Oh, is
just
that 100 years?
yeah.
What?
Every it's an exaggerated metaphor, but just like don't I don't not all the time. Just
Yeah,
not all the time. But I
that's
think
fair.
like it's kind of hot, but
Yeah, the
it's
idea is a little
the
sexy,
idea
but
is
like
hot.
I'm too
Taboo is kind of
awkward.
always hot though.
I
Mm,
do like taboo. Like, so yeah, I like taboo, like situate. I like power dynamics.
drum
Like when
roll.
I'm
Can
watching
you paint the picture?
my adult movies. I don't know because I don't want to get demonetized, even though we don't have any
Oh,
subscribers. But you don't
yeah.
know. But I like power dynamics. Like I like a little like workplace harassment. Like, I'll give you a raise if you do.
The
It's like, ooh, you'll give me a
quid pro quo.
raise.
I love
I
it.
love quid pro quo. Absolutely. My favorite category. So,
You don't have to worry about she said over here.
yes. It's like I will threaten you. I will go to the director if you
Oh
don't give
my
me head right
God.
now.
That is kind of hot though. I mean, like
I love
those
it.
debaucherous situations, like,
Hmm.
that's it just makes your skin tingle.
Yes.
But it's like, how often do I want to be that cool? You know, how often do I want to be involved in that scandal? Just many times. So is this brain pick approved?
Brain pick approved.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. And my last one is, how do you feel in getting a brain pick on dealing with the ex-lovers of your friends that were really close to you, but you knew them before you knew that friend, basically.
Ooh. Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So I have
Yeah.
a friend
Mhm.
who has an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yes.
So they are no longer talking.
No longer.
And you're asking how I feel about communicating with their ex.
Yes.
And
If
I
you
was
knew
friends with
their
their
ex before you knew that friend.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I think that's fine. The only way that that wouldn't be okay is like if you did something completely like deplorable.
Yeah.
And that means if you committed a murder, if you stole like
Yeah.
something crazy, like
Yeah.
something like that, like I wouldn't really mess with you. But yeah, if you
Yeah.
cheated, like yeah, you still like I felt like you're my friend.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like that's not right. But like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like because what loyalty would I have to my friend if I knew
True.
your ex first? I wouldn't have, if anything, I'm
Yeah.
loyal to your ex. Like, am I friends with the ex? Like, what's the
Yeah.
relationship? Is it just,
Yeah.
was the ex just my neighbor? Or
Yeah.
like, was I really cool with them?
Yeah. That's
So which
fair.
one?
Oh, it would be like you would be really cool with them. Like
Oh
so
yeah.
yes. Okay, good.
Yeah. So if
Okay,
the
yeah.
ex is my friend and you're
Yeah.
my friend, and I need that.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I'm not
Yeah.
no girl. And see,
Okay,
that's where
okay.
people get messed up. I
Mhm.
knew a girl that was like that, to where like all of them had met at the same time.
Right.
To where it's like y'all met each other at the same time. So just
Yeah.
because you get in this relationship and you break up with this person, like sucks for you. Or like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
we all
That's
met
true.
together. We literally met the same day.
That's
So,
true.
you know, so yeah.
I personally think it does depend. So given that situation, I would remain loyal to my friend. However, the friend that I knew, you know, before they got involved in getting to know the other person.
Yeah.
But I think it would be important to understand like their dynamics, because I could only be involved with my friend objectively. Like I would assume you know where I'm coming from in that perspective. So
Hmm.
like, okay, I vibe with you. I don't really give a damn about what you have going on because I knew you first. And if I happen to see that person, we still have our own dynamic.
Yeah.
But like we all need to be clear in that, because I just wouldn't want it to be like a messy relationship, because then I couldn't involve myself with either parties, because it's just
Yeah.
like that is too much. Like then it gets complicated. Like, can we all go out? So I think it does depend like
Yeah.
on the situation and like where everybody is in the process.
Hmm.
But like people take friendships and loyalty like so to heart and then not even at all. So it's very hard to know where people are in the process. So that is
Hmm.
something I would really like kind of ease on carefully, because
Yeah.
like I just don't know where people are, and like not really that wouldn't really change my actions, but it would definitely be something where I'm like, where are you in the process? So I need to know how I can adjust to be where I need to be for us, because I
Hmm.
can't deal with your craziness. So
I
not approve,
agree.
not disapprove. I'm just like, depends.
So I want to make sure that I understand. So we have a super close friend
Hmm.
who breaks up with their boyfriend or girlfriend, and we want to know if we're loyal to the super close friend or if we're going to be friends with the one that you met through them.
Yeah,
Okay, so that
exactly.
changes my answer. I thought
Oh,
that you were
okay.
saying that
Got it.
okay, yeah, cuz that's why I guess I didn't clarify good the first time. But yeah, so I thought that you were saying that like we're all friends. I just need
Oh,
one longer.
yeah, that is what I'm saying.
Well, did I meet this person is the reason why I know you because of the friend I knew longer.
Oh, that part does matter too.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, if that's the case, like if you bring, like if you had an
Yeah,
ex,
that's
you
true.
introduce me to your ex, you know, you've been my friend for like X amount of years, 15 plus
Yeah,
years.
that's true.
So it's like if you introduce me to your ex and you break up with your ex, I'm not talking to them. They can be as nice as they want to be.
That's
But like,
true.
yeah, no.
That is true. Well, I really do think though it still depends on the situation, which makes this whole question
Yeah.
very good because I think it depends on a lot of things, like what
Mhm.
that continuous relationship
Yeah.
looks like. Like, okay, if the friend that I have that I rock with, regardless of how I met the person, I'm still their friend. And oh, really? Because like
Yeah, it depends
you
on
think,
how. Because what if you were
oh,
really broken up by the breakup? Like if you were really like hurt by whatever your ex did, I would
yeah.
not play with that.
Oh,
Like
that
I would
is
kind of go off
true.
of your temperature. Like if you're like, yeah, we can go to lunch, I'd be like, all right. If you're like, yeah, fuck him, I'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I would go off of
Yeah.
what you're doing, but like, yeah,
Mm.
I wouldn't even get
Oh,
into that.
yeah.
Mm-mm. No, because I'm like, I just met that man a couple years ago. I don't know him like that. I don't know
I
him
mean,
like that.
I don't know. I would personally like be like, okay. And that's why I'm like, if all parties are on the same page, like with their vibe, like if I can't rock
Mhm.
with this person because you're no longer with them, like we have to have a conversation about that because like I have my own dynamic with them. And like, I don't know because like, I mean, I do know, I'm not going to change my answer, but I find that like to this point, and this is something I kind of want to talk about with this too. I find, or like a situation. So one day I was with a group of acquaintances, right, that I
Mhm.
was getting to know, and they were talking about someone that I knew.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, well, that's not how I feel about them. I don't really have anything to add to this conversation, but
Yeah.
do you? You know, because it's just like in that same context, like, okay, I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
This is your perspective. This is valid. Lovely. I haven't experienced any of this, to the point I don't have the level of association with them. They were acquaintances, not
Yeah.
necessarily friends, but even so, it's still your perspective. And
Mhm.
it's like you're entitled to that. You had that interaction with them. I didn't. Like, I don't know. It's still my personal relationship. So
Yeah.
like I have this relationship with you, but you can't impose how you feel about another relationship that has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with me and this person. So that's a perspective that I have on it to where I
Mhm.
would kind of just be like, I still know where y'all are when we're in the spaces, or if I'm in the space with either, because I'm just gonna continue. Because it's not like I was a child, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
I know where you're coming from, and I think that that's it's a very logical approach,
yeah,
but it's just when it pertains for me, like
yeah,
loyalty, like no, like if you're
yeah.
my friend, like I'm not
I
gonna
feel that.
like you can be as nice as you want to be because again, I'm not really interested in like new people anyway. So
Yeah,
like you would have to be super special for me to be like, no, I really still want to be your friend. I can
yeah,
take you or leave you. I can take or
I
leave
feel
most
that.
people. So I'm like, yeah, they were cute, but like we don't have to do all of that. If this is gonna be an issue, I'm not gonna like do anything that can be perceived as like sneaky or wrong because
Yeah,
I wouldn't feel the need. Like I don't have to go to brunch with this person. Or like I
got
don't
it.
work with them. Like we're not in a business together.
That's
Like
fair.
I would have to like the way I look at it is like I would have to actively seek that connection. And that's something
Yeah,
I don't need. It's
yeah,
like not
that's
especially
true.
not at the expense of like my true friends' feelings. I don't
Yeah,
need that. I don't
that's
need
true.
to do
That's
that.
true.
So
So
yeah.
this is brain pick loyalty equals everything.
Yes. Yes.
And that's all I have for brain pick.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of Dissect the BS. Until next time, bye guys.
Bye.